In this presentation, we will discuss anxiety and stress reduction in ASD. So, to understand stress and anxiety, we have to understand the fight or the flight state or the sympathetic state. This is the physiological state that's occurring when a child or adult is in a stressed or anxious state. There are certain physical characteristics that are occurring during this fight or flight state. The fight or flight state is very often people with ASD can get bombarded with too much stimulus as loud noises or bright lights or touch or smells. Like this can put them into a fight or flight state. These things may not necessarily put somebody ourselves into this sort of state, but for somebody who's very oversensitive to these things, this can occur. Very often they can feel confused or angry, partly because they find it hard to communicate what's going on for them. Their heart rate goes up, stress hormones are elevated, such as cortisol and adrenaline. This is important for a real life fight or flight state situation. However, this can occur in normal daily activities throughout the day where your child can be put into this alarm triggered state. So it's not this is something also that's occurring in our daily modern life. There's more stresses, but generally we want to be in a more relaxed state throughout the day, and through relaxation techniques we can minimize some of these sticking points in terms of the child with ASD or adult. Sometimes they can get fixed on how things should be or particular behaviors, and it's effective to try and minimize this fight or flight state, keep them in a more relaxed state throughout the day. This is much better for their health and their learning. Like, if a child or adult is unable to communicate verbally that something is bothering them, we must remain vigilant of the non-verbal cues that are often, if something's bothering them, they will give out signals, non-verbal cues. Then, with this information, we are then empowered to offer them a relaxation technique to calm them down. So, in the present moment, when we are aware that your child is in a stressed or anxious state, they will give out signals, non-verbal cues. Then we can do something about it in terms of offering breathing techniques or playing classical music. This will really help them to switch from that fight or flight state to a more relaxed state. So what could be the stress factors that are occurring for people with ASD? Well, very often people with ASD are overstimulated from sounds, light, touch, or smells. This leads to anxiety. Very often they have trouble communicating this anxiety, and they can get very angry, or they can have a tantrum. We must realize that this is their form of nonverbal communication to the stimulus. This is their way of saying that they are not able to handle this. They're overstimulated, and they have a sensitivity towards these external environmental factors. I have had some experience with somebody who became very angry and overstimulated when he watched fast-paced action movies. And unless you were paying attention, it is possible to believe that this person is just acting out in some way they're just misbehaving. But however, if you look closer, you can see that he was actually communicating that he was overstimulated by this by these movies, films, and he much prefers to have classical music played in the background. This puts him into a more relaxed and focused state, and very often when he is in a more angry or agitated state, he will ask for classical music, as this is his self coping mechanism. So he knows himself that he needs this some relaxation and calm to restore his body and mind. So we will discuss this. We've talked about the fight or flight state. The opposite state is the rest and digest state, or the parasympathetic state. This is the uh, perfect medicine for that overstimulated state, which we talked about earlier. The parasympathetic state is a more relaxed, restful, and restorative state. The nervous system is much more calm with a slower heart rate. The person feels much more safe with a deeper sense of clarity and contentment. So this is really, really key in helping to turn around somebody who's very agitated or stressed. We feel less stimulated and overwhelmed in this parasympathetic state. So it's very, very important. The stress reduction and anxiety, this can be managed through relaxation techniques. Ways to flip from a fight or flight state to a rest and digest state. Playing classical music, as we talked about earlier, this can help someone to relax when they feel stressed or anxious. This has been known to help reduce pain, stress levels, and improve memory and concentration. Going into nature also can help enter into this more relaxed state. A walk in the park or in a garden can be a total game changer for somebody who's in a very anxious or stressed state. Deep breathing is also very important as a way of relaxing the body. Meditation also and yoga could be very effective in changing our mood or state. So it's always good to try out these things. I've also seen, particularly with adults with autism, I've seen a real benefit from reflexology and massage, but particularly reflexology, I've seen this to be very effective in helping to relax um, many adults with autism, but also this helps to relieve some digestive issues that are which we talked about in this uh, course. But this is I've seen a real benefit with people and also with their moods and concentration. Another big factor is healthy sleep habits. This is really key also in the whole just the general well-being of any adult, but especially children and adults with ASD. Healthy sleep habits and relaxation is very important. So it helps if the household is clean, quiet, and uncluttered. This makes things feel less chaotic or disorganized for everyone, especially with people with ASD, as they require more structure and stability. Try to sit and eat without any TV or electronic devices or loud music. So that means switching off your smartphones if you're sitting down with your family. Really trying to concentrate on the food and the nutrition and try to absorb that nutrition, and also spending time with your family. This is a real, um, you know, quality time there. So put away the TVs and the phones. Create also a peaceful bedroom for your child without a TV, video games, or if you do have video games, make make a curfew time there, so you agree with your child that they will switch off their video games at a certain time. This allows them to create that space where they can relax and wind down. Sleep is really the best medicine, and it we know now that it improves the memory and concentration, reduces stress. Sleep also makes us more alert, and naps have been proven in research to make us smarter, so really does have an effect on our brain. Sleep helps your body also to repair, and it reduces our risk of depression and really improves our overall health and mood.